Hey, what's up? I'm back with another Raw review. First off, I just want to say that I'm sorry that this one took so long to get up because, it's after the actual Raw. But nevertheless, I have it, and so let's get right to it. So first off of the night, we had a promo of all the craziness on Raw that's been going on, because they don't have a general manager. So we had a promo of that, and then we have John Cena, he comes out. And he had a new wardrobe change. He has this, it's supposed to be representing CTC, Crime Time C Nation. It says C Nation on it. I think that's what it's called. And it's like a Soviet red jersey or something. It's really red. I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb, literally. But he comes out sporting a new jersey, and he gets a mixed reaction, as he usually does, unless he's in, his hometown or a few other places, maybe California. But so he comes out sporting that, and he acknowledges the mixed reaction he gets, and he starts talking about like a good face that he is. He apologizes to Batista for hitting him last week. As you know, there was a little scruffle at the end of the Batista versus CM Punk match when JBL interfered, and then Cena came in, he interfered, and they kind of got tangled up. So Cena acknowledged that, and he apologizes to Batista. Batista comes out, says, we're cool, no big deal. And then Batista and Cena kind of then fire back at each other. Batista says that he can beat Cena anywhere, and Cena says that Batista doesn't necessarily deserve the next shot for title match for SummerSlam, because, as you know, Batista's had 2 chances and he hasn't gotten it done, so Cena thinks that someone else should be it. Batista doesn't, butt heads. And then Shane O'Mac comes out. Not really surprised at seeing him. You pretty much knew one of the McMahons were going to come out. So Shane O'Mac comes out, does his little dance or whatever he does, that thing he does around the ring. So he comes out doing that. And then he says that he has appointed a new GM. So Raw has a general manager, but he won't tell us till later in the night, which pretty much means the end of the night. So he says that, and then he makes a match with Cena, and then he says the GM has made a match, Cena and Batista versus JBL and Kane. Before that, Cena and Batista wanted to go one-on-one with each other for a #1 contenders match for CM Punk to decide that, which I personally thought, would be a pretty good thing to do, because, you have Cena, who can always be main event status. Then you have Batista, which, of course, is the person all the fans want to win the belt, and he probably should soon. So, you have that match, and you have Batista win or something, and then, there you go. So they should have done that, but the GM does that. And, even though this is all within a storyline, it's kind of a bad decision for me personally. But once you find out who the new GM is, you kind of expect it. So, more on that later. So, new GM appointed, match made between Cena, Batista, JBL, and Kane. Then we have our first match of the night, finally, and it's a intergender tag team match, and that is, I believe, Kelly and D'Lo Brown versus Santino Marella and Beth Phoenix. So, as you know, Beth Phoenix and Santino Marella have kind of a awkward relationship kind of thing going on, something like that. So, pretty much the match is, it's actually not a squash match, because D'Lo Brown and Kelly lose. Santino Marella gets the pin on Kelly, which, even though he wins, he's getting a pin on a girl, so that kind of still, any ring credibility that he had when he was the Intercontinental Champion has pretty much gone downhill, and will stay there until they start building him up. But he's just being used for comic relief now, and he's very good on the mic, so as long as you keep using him for that, you should be good. So, pretty straightforward match. Santino and Beth Phoenix win. Then they have a little thing after where little more awkward sexual tension. Then Beth Phoenix grabs Santino Marella by his head, and she gives him tongue, or she kisses him, whatever she does, I don't really know. So, I like where they're going with this relationship, because they're both kind of being played for laughs. Beth Phoenix, she has held the women's championship, but they're not really pushing her as much right now. So, that's good where they're keeping it, though. Then we have a backstage segment where JBL pretty much tells Shane to put him in the main event at SummerSlam, and yada yada yada. Then Shane, actually, his phone rings. He's getting a call from the new GM, and his phone actually has his ring entrance ringtone, which I thought was kind of funny. And so then they have that, and then so second match we have is, so how this went was, as you know, Jim Duggan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Jerry Lawler had kind of a run-in with the World Tag Team Champions DiBiase and Rhodes, so they were actually scheduled to face them on this Raw for the World Tag Team Champions. I mean, even then, you pretty much knew who was going to win, but then they changed the match, the new GM changes the match, or so it said, and so you have it changed so that Michael Cole ends up substituting Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which, you know, Michael Cole isn't really over with the fans right now as an announcer, because they're pretty steamed like I am that JR was traded to SmackDown, and I still want JR back. So I guess any chance to see Michael Cole get his ass beat is a pretty funny thing, and it was kind of funny because Michael Cole comes in the match at a certain point when him and Jerry Lawler accidentally tag hands. Before that, Jerry Lawler is actually doing a pretty damn good job of beating them up, and you actually think if he doesn't tag Michael Cole, and, you know, maybe they have a shot. Of course, you know, backstage stuff, they would never give the tag team champions to Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole. That'd be ridiculous. It would be pretty funny, though. But anyways, Michael Cole gets in, and then he kind of punches Cody Rhodes a couple times before Cody Rhodes basically gives him a clothesline, which, it's kind of funny the sound Michael Cole makes. He goes, "Ah!" He goes, "Ah!" or something, you know, along those lines. But it's pretty funny to see Michael Cole get his ass thrown on the ring. So then, quick pin, and Rhodes and DiBiase are still tag team champions, as is expected. And then Michael Cole is out for the rest of the night because of an injury he sustained with the clothesline. Wonder what's going to happen. So then we have our third match of the night, Kofi Kingston versus Jamie Noble, squash match. Kofi Kingston wins. I don't know what they're doing with Jamie Noble and Layla. He's trying to prove himself, but basically he's gotten beat every single time. So I don't know what they're doing with that. Also, they're putting Kofi Kingston a little bit lower. I mean, at least with Paul Burchill, you know, he was at mid-card status. Now he's kind of going down there. Not to insult Jamie Noble or anything, but as of now, he's pretty low-card status. But squash match, Kofi Kingston wins. Pretty, you know, straightforward match. Of course, Kofi Kingston being the high flyer that he is, he had some pretty good high-flying moves. Nothing really big to report there other than that. Then we have our fourth match, which is CM Punk versus the returning William Regal. Kind of surprised he came back. Well, you know, his suspension was up. I was expecting him to come out last week's Raw, though, because I think it was up before then. But anyways, he comes back. Good to see him back. He was stiff as hell in this match, which was amazing. This was one of my favorite matches of the night. And he loses, obviously, because, you know, when you're coming back from a suspension, you're expected to pay your debts and, you know, lose a few matches. But nevertheless, you know, I don't know if they were trying to put him over, but he put himself over in my eyes already because not even, I mean, you know, he's obviously still supposed to be the heel, but he was stiff as hell, and it was amazing. He, at this one point, I think he actually legitimately busted, and I say legitimately meaning that there was no blading going on, when there was a spot where they're outside the ring, and CM Punk had his head up against the ring post. So here's CM Punk's head up against the ring post. Then William Regal comes and just boots the hell out of his head right against the ring post. And I mean, the sound it made, I don't think there was any blading going on there, mostly because he was bleeding out of the nose. You're not going to go up there and ram a blade inside your nose. But it was pretty awesome, to say the least. And William Regal stiffed the hell out of him. And CM Punk actually didn't show many good moves. You know, he just used the GTS, which is obviously his finishing moves. But very impressive return by Regal. Hopefully I don't know what they're going to put what they're going to do with him. But, you know, hopefully they put him in something good eventually, you know, after he pays his debts and everything. So after that match, JBL confronts Punk, and then Kane comes out, and they have this little scruffle, I guess, building up the match between JBL and Kane and all them, but whatever.